So whether you know it or not, you have received things that might not actually be true in your guitar playing and the things that you believe about guitar culture. This is going to be a series that's going to span just kind of indefinitely as I find things that you and I have bought into that aren't necessarily true. We're going to talk about them. So this week, and I don't mean to be contentious, but I'm just speaking from my own personal experience. If you are left-handed, you probably shouldn't learn how to play guitar left-handed. I'm pretty clearly left-handed. Just from being a kid growing up, I always threw with my left hand, I drew with my left hand, I did a lot of things left-handed. But when I was about 4, I was at a playground with my brothers, and we were playing on the slide, and we'd run and we'd play around. I fell backwards, and to catch myself, I put out my arm, and when I hit the ground, I broke my arm. It ended up meaning that I had a cast on my left arm for a long chunk of time, or a couple weeks. So during that time, I ended up having to use my right hand a lot for things that I needed to do. And so I ended up picking up a lot of skills that moved me more into the ambidextrous world. We had a family friend who played guitar, and I wanted to learn how to play guitar so badly. And so one of the questions I asked was if I should play left-handed, if I should play right-handed. And he overwhelmingly and immediately said that I should play right-handed. His logic was 99% of guitars are made right-handed, and even right-handed guitar players are going to spend decades looking for the perfect guitar for them. My conviction on this jumps into just a practical side of it. I knew how to do really dexterous left-handed things because of being left-handed. And that's where most of the complication comes, especially when you're first learning to play. Your right hand is just strumming and your left hand is left to articulate chords. That feels like it would be a clear advantage for a left-handed guitar player playing a guitar right-handed. So as I've learned how to play, that's what I've often advocated, but it's a complicated and tricky world, especially when you start dealing with, in a lot of ways, some people that are left-handed have a real identity attachment to it. They believe certain things about themselves. To force them to play guitar right-handed or to insinuate that they should play right-handed would feel like you're stepping on their identity. I don't necessarily think that this is a guitar lie, but I think it comes from a desire for the world to be simple. And unfortunately, the world requires a lot of nuance and a lot of diving into the details. So if you're left-handed, should you play guitar left-handed? Maybe, maybe not. If you're left-handed and you want to play guitar left-handed, I would say you're probably better off if you are close to a major city center that has lots of guitar shops, because the chances of just being exposed to guitars in general increases your ability to find guitars that are left-handed. If you live in the country or more in a rural area like I do, you are not going to find left-handed guitars regularly. You are then going to be forced, and this is where the internet is a wonderful tool. Reverb is a wonderful tool because it puts all of the people in the world that care about the thing that you care about in the same room. Should you play guitar right-handed? This is where I'm going to put my opinion, which is just that. A right-handed person that is learning guitar for the first time is going to use their dominant arm to strum, and they're going to use their left hand, which has not been trained or coordinated for detailed movements like you have. You have an unfair advantage with your left hand being able to move in fine motor detail. I've always found this to be an advantage for me. I feel like fingerstyle guitar came much more naturally to me than to my right-handed counterparts. I think is a great thing. Take all of this with a grain of sand. This is my opinion as someone who loves guitar, loves people, tries to make the world a better place. So the potential problems for left-handed guitar players: 1, there just aren't many left-handed guitars available. 2, if you're going to buy guitars that you have to flip, there are going to be complications. It will be more complicated for you to flip an acoustic guitar because this is a subtle difference. Acoustic guitar saddles are set for the orientation so that the intonation is correct for a right-handed guitar player. So typically that means that the E string, that the low E, is farther towards the bridge pins, and it means that the E, the high E string, is farther from the bridge pins. So you have this whole orientation. It's probably about 1/8 of an inch, maybe even up to 1/4 of an inch in difference. If you string that guitar opposite, if you would string a right-handed guitar as a left-handed guitar, it would sound okay, but you run a much higher risk of having problems with intonation. This is a common problem. There isn't really a way to fix it other than doing a proper conversion. And so a conversion would mean either fill the saddle slot, cut a new saddle slot, or remove the bridge and put a left-handed bridge. It gets complicated. There are complications flipping an electric guitar to be left-handed, but they're less substantial, I think. One is the aesthetic problem. It's going to look like a guitar that's upside down. If you are playing a Strat, it will be obtrusive. If you're playing a Telecaster, it might be a little better. If you're playing a Les Paul, it's going to be a pain. Pretty much all guitars are going to have, it's just going to be uncomfortable to play with the knobs underneath your arm. The other problem, but it's much less of a problem than an acoustic guitar, is the intonation issues. You can fix pretty much all the intonation, especially if you have if you have a Tune-o-matic style bridge or a Gibson style bridge. You can flip those around. Those work pretty well. You can change the saddles around. On a Fender style bridge, there's a lot of accommodation for intonation. When I was 14, I was diagnosed with a heart condition, and it changed a lot of how I was able to interact with the world. It meant I could no longer be involved in sports or in gym class, in my school, and it was a really sad and hard time. During that time, that's when I really dug deep. I played guitar a little bit, but all of a sudden I saw guitar as this creative outlet that I could experience. I could have a catharsis for the sadness that was happening in my world. But also it helped me immediately find friends and make a band, and we started playing shows, and it was super fun. Then, fast forward, when I was 20, my mom, who had the same heart condition as me, she died from it. Very unexpectedly, we didn't see it coming, and it really jarred our whole family. Consequently, it meant that I had to have a defibrillator implanted, which totally changed my world and changed my life. And it even further complicated what physical activities I could do and how I could interact with the world around me. But during this time, it meant a lot of changes to the left side of my body. During my recovery, there was a long time that I wasn't able to use my left hand. I couldn't, and even moving forward, I wasn't able to talk on my cell phone on the left side. I wasn't able to lift too much weight. There are pretty serious restrictions on how much weight I can lift with my left hand. All of it has forced me to change the way that I interact with the world around me. But it's incredibly fortunate that I had learned how to play guitar right-handed, because it didn't change the way that my left hand could still be for just the dexterous small guitar parts, and my right hand could be more involved for the strumming and the finger picking. It's a pretty serious part of my life. I talk about it occasionally. More often than not, it feels heavier than I need to be, but it is a part that I want to share with you, that your body, your person, who you are, will affect your ability to create music, but it also creates the quality of music that you are able to offer the world. If you've experienced hard things, music and friendship and guitars are an amazing catharsis for you to heal, for you to process life as it happens to you. I wouldn't wish these things on people, but I think that there is a really redemptive way of viewing suffering and sickness and disease. Of course, we want it to be gone, and hopefully one day it will be gone. But there's a way to live with it here in such a way that it makes the world a better and more friendly and more gracious place. left-handed or right-handed, there is a world of exciting things ahead of you if you're learning to play guitar. I would encourage you, whether you play guitar left-handed or right-handed, play guitar. It's awesome. You'll learn things about yourself. You'll make friends. You will be connected to your community. You will have a life that is just a really great gift. So thanks for watching this video. I'm Jeremy. I'm the Guitar Hunter. Please go and fill the world with music and friendship. If you want to be a guitar hunter, go to jeremytheguitarhunter.com. You can buy a t-shirt. That's the best way you can support this channel and make sure that these videos happen. I'm excited for this series. I'm going to keep finding guitar lies that we probably believe. Thanks for checking out this video. Go be awesome.